Hello everybody, it's time to play another Doom Snapmap. I've got a subscriber recommended map here. This is El Diablo Arena by cCOFFEe. Map description reads, only the best Marines will survive the onslaught, single player and co-op arena with 3 bosses and beautiful map design. So, I don't know how many people might have noticed this, but I had this playthrough posted on YouTube earlier, but I took it down after having it up for a few hours because something about my review just didn't sit right with me, and I went back and listened to it, and I noticed that I was very critical about a certain aspect of this map that, in all honesty, having gone back and looked at it a second time, it really wasn't something that I should have been complaining about. In fact, going back and looking at it now, it's actually kind of something I like about the map, but I was really critical about it during my review, and that was a mistake on my part. Suffice to say, I wasn't happy with my earlier review, so I wanted to go back, and I figured it would be best to just go back and play this map through a second time just to get another take on it. And so I'm going to go ahead and do that now. You know, I'm not going to get too far into the details. I'm going to save... I'll talk more about the reasons why I didn't like certain things about this map and why I changed my mind later. I'll go through all that in the breakdown, but for now, let's just boot up this map and play it, shall we? Here we go. This is El Diablo Arena.
Welcome to Mars City, Union Aerospace's premier research facility.
Alright, already starting out. Oh. I just noticed that the part of the floor is exposed here. Interesting. For Ed Against the Undead. I don't know what Ed Against the Undead is, but oh yeah, so it spawns a few burst rifles here. I guess maybe that's for multiplayer. Huh. So this is kind of an Oh. I just collect some ammo here. Or armor, rather. So see, user input 1 Tesla rocket, user input 2 grenade. Okay, so let's see if I can remember. Controller. So my user input 1 is square, according to my controller here. So, square. I'm pressing okay, there we go. Whoa, what's going on? Okay, that's odd. Oh. User input 2 grenade. Okay, there we go. So left thumbstick changes to grenade, and square changes my loadout to Tesla rocket. That's really interesting way of doing things. I'll have to try to keep that in mind here. So, this is an interesting area too. Some little bit of prop custom geo action going on here. Try to jump over these. Oh, is this my buddy? Ah, okay. Whoa. Huh. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Oh yeah. And oh yeah, lots of props. And grenade. See if it changed to the Tesla rocket. Yep. Okay. Not sure. Doesn't seem to do me a whole lot of good. Whoa, what's over here? Okay, that does damage me. Okay. Grab the health, armor, armor. Armor up. Kind of interesting how you can just stand on the armor shard and it'll replenish you. I'm not sure if that was a design decision to, or if that was just kind of a random thing. Yeah, it's interesting design here. It's a UAC module with hell props overlaid. It's kind of an interesting design, actually. I kind of like how it sort of came out. One thing I still kind of don't like is all these props in my way, though. That's the thing. Let's see. Switch to the Tesla. Ah, I just barely missed him. Smash. Okay, so looks like Big Boy's got about 71% health left. Where's he go? Where'd he go? There he is. Oh, dang. Got myself with that one. See if I can get some more armor back here. Whoa, that was odd. Something set off those barrels. Ugh, jeez, that railing. Let's collect up some armor. See, I don't know if it was the design so that you need to sort of find a spot where you're not going to be messed with and then just camp out on the armor shard. It seems kind of odd to me, but... Oh. Yeah, this level has an interesting layout. That's for sure. Now, I wonder if there's any secrets. I don't think there are, but I'm gonna keep a close eye out in case I might have missed something. Watch your step. I wonder if that could be a... Swap over to the Tesla grenade. Yeah, it doesn't seem to do a whole lot of good. So I wasn't, back to the sort of design look of this level. I wasn't the biggest fan of the, this sort of hybrid mix between the hell props and the UAC module, but I'm kind of starting to dig it now, to be honest with you. It has a certain appeal to it that's kind of interesting to me. Alright, gotta take this guy out. Whoop, and things just got orange. Can I press any of these things yet? No. Not that one. Not that one. Alright. Oh. Another grenade. So probably switch over to the assault rifle here. Chew him up a little bit. Oh, and now things just got super red. Alright, glory kill time. Nice. Oh, we got revenants. Jeez Louise. He definitely has a health modifier. So I feel like you do get some slight advantage from remembering to keep swapping out grenades, because it does shorten the cooldown rate on your grenades just slightly. But it is a little bit of a pain in the butt to keep remembering to do it. Alrighty. Oh, there's a guy in there. Wonder what that did. Now I wonder if there's a way to open that up. There must be some significance to having that cage there. Okay, that switch isn't active. Neither is that one. Okay. Oh, some invisible things hurting me. Not entirely sure what. What's going on with this? Not sure. Yeah, there's definitely a lot going on in this room, design-wise. But I guess now that the action's died down, we can take a moment to sort of look at the room. Yeah, I kind of do. You know, I wasn't too excited about the design overall when I first played, but looking at it now, I kind of do like the. I do sort of like the fusion between the hell bricks and the what the hell keeps hurting me. Some invisible damage here. I do like the fusion between the hell bricks and the UAC modules here, with all the pipes and everything in the ceiling. It is kind of neat. Now I wonder if there's a way to get up there. Oh, I took him out. Okay. Oh, a little parkour opportunity. A little bit of a mountain goat opportunity. I wonder if there's a purpose to mountain goating here. Oh. Let's see if there's anything up here. Oh, jeez. Okay, let's try that again. No, there's nothing up there. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and... Yeah, I'm not seeing any secrets here. And there seems to be a lot of invisible hazards also. It's kind of odd. Let's swap back to regular grenade. There we go. That worked out really well. Okay, rate this map. I'd say good so far. Thanks. Have this on the house. Oh, lightning gun? Is that what I got? Or what? Not entirely sure. So, here's an opportunity to change difficulty to easy mode, apparently. Credits. Check out my other maps. If you hate this, you should know I'm a kid who ignored the tutorial, but I tried to make M. What's M? Try to make money? This is kind of also an interesting thing you did with the design as far as using those sort of red barricades as wallpaper there. Kind of interesting. What does this do? Rate it again. Ha noob. Can I keep hitting it? Oh, it just says, keeps saying ha noob. Oh. Whatever. Let's get this open. Nice. Okay, let's see here. Ugh. Oh boy. Oh goodness. And lost souls, my god. Alright. Things are getting awfully crowded in here. Okay. I will say in this part of the level I can appreciate the abundance of health and armor here, because there are guys everywhere. My goodness. And look at these crazy trees too. This is like something straight out of Minecraft. Oh, there goes General Crack. Oh. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Whoa, what's going on with this guy? Ugh. Dang props. That was a big complaint I had about this level, and it's still a big complaint I have about this level, is those doggone candles. Oh, dang it, he was just a little too high. I got you now. I pulled out your breathing tube. There goes General Razzmatazz. Oh. I think I just figured out a cheesy way to work the grenade system. So if you press, I think if you press the grenade switch button just a second before you press it back, you'll actually get to throw 2 grenades. Let's see here. Got the Tesla grenade. Regular grenade. And... yeah! See? That's how you work the grenade system. You gotta press both of the grenade swap options, just one slightly after the other. And then as soon as it changes over, you just throw them real quick, and then you'll get to use them twice. Like in rapid succession. Just like that. Okay. Now I don't know if it's that way by design or if that's just kind of something I figured out, but it seems like I can swap them back and forth. Oh. So you gotta do it with... See, I'm not getting the timing quite right. It's got to be one slightly after the other. Just like that. Bam. I know sometimes these guys just get stuck in their little cells and they don't come out. Like this guy here. He doesn't even seem to notice I'm here. Paint the wall with him. Yeah, no secrets. Look at these crazy trees. I mean, they're as good as any other tree in Snapmap, honestly. Floor is a little unlevel, it looks like. Be that as it may. Where are the rest of the guys? There's gotta be one more guy here just hanging out. Don't quite see him. Oh, there he is. So the ceiling decals are kind of interesting too, or not decals, but again with that barricade paneling, it's kind of interesting. So L3 square, just like that. L3 and square. Perfect. Gotta get that rhythm down. L3 square. Nice. I'm actually starting to dig that feature now. L3 square. And yes, I do have to say it. L3 square. Whoa. Where are these guys? See, this is one thing I don't quite like, is that these cells, guys end up just not coming out of their cells and I have to go hunt them down. And it really does take the pacing of the level down just a little bit. And not in a good way. There we go. Oh. Oh. What's going on? Oh, that got so laggy. Oh, it's getting really laggy. Something's going quite wrong. Oh. Oh boy. Why is it lagging so badly? The thing is, there's like three different buttons I have to keep in mind for toggling the grenades. There's L3 square and R1 for tossing, throwing. O1, or no, L1. Dang it. Let's try this again. Ah. Starting to get that grenade function down a lot better. It's kind of strange still though. Ugh. Oh, I got myself with that one. Doggone it. Done, son. Yeah. I can't even talk because I'm just like so focused on getting that grenade swapping function right. You gotta do it literally like a second apart. Grenade, Tesla rocket, and then supercharge, and then you start over again. Grenade, hit the button switches, grenade, Tesla rocket, and bam, like that. Alright, who's left? Any guys left? Oh, I guess I need to hit the switch. Well, that would be good to know, considering it wasn't even active before. Nope, here comes El Diablo. L3 square. L3 square. Oh my god. Ah, dang it. Alright, so stuff I liked, stuff I didn't. Let's start off with the stuff I did like. Okay, so first things first, I really dug the sort of thematic fusion that was going on, because you had sort of hell props mixed in over the UAC modules, and at first I didn't really like it. In fact, at first I didn't like it at all. I thought it looked I thought the design of it really clashed, and I think I described it as a prop bomb just went off in this level, and it just sort of looked like props were everywhere, and I kept getting snagged on props. And in an arena type level, that's one thing I really don't like, is getting snagged on things. But you know, since then I kind of gave this level a second look, and I've kind of learned to appreciate the sort of fusion of those two themes of the hell bricks mixed in with the sort of like the UAC pipes and the barricades, and you know, it does actually come together pretty well. So the geo, I think, in this level, it actually does look pretty decent. Now, I mean, there's areas where, you know, some of the floors are exposed and things aren't quite, you know, evened up, you know, but as far as the overall look of the level, I kind of think it's neat. I mean, it's kind of a weird sort of fusion, but I dig it. Another thing I like is I really like the action in this level. Yeah, I mean, this level is just sort of like non-stop action, except for there are a couple times where the action does stop and you have to go find that switch, which, by the way, that'd be a good time to put like a POI icon on it. But the action basically, and that's kind of par for the course when it comes to an arena level, is just action, action, action. But this definitely did deliver on that. So definitely lots of action, lots of good demon killing opportunities. So another thing I really liked in this level was the grenade swapping, or the you know, that little interesting little feature that the author put in, where you can actually swap out between a Tesla rocket and a regular frag grenade. It's a really neat feature, and the first time I played, I didn't really understand it. And you know, using input 1 and input 2 is kind of like, you know, most people don't really have their controller memorized by what inputs they are, but I kind of had to look it up. But you know, once I looked up what input I needed to know and what button corresponded to that, and then once I kind of got in the habit of swapping those out, there's actually a really neat thing that happens, and it's kind of seems like it's a way to sort of trick the game. It's almost a hack, really. But if you swap out, if you like press the two buttons or the two inputs to swap out your grenade selection, and if you do it just a second or so after the other, it'll swap to a different type of grenade that's fresh and ready to go, and you can just like toss it out, and then right after you do that, it'll swap over to the other type of grenade. So you effectively get to throw two grenades. You basically get a free grenade, essentially. You get to throw two grenades, and it skips that whole loading cycle. So, you know, I mean, if you were really talented, you could just keep swapping back and forth and just constantly throwing grenades. And maybe that's what the author intended, but the thing is, I feel like it could have been explained a little bit better. But the concept behind that, I think, is a really interesting concept if somebody wanted to explore it. Like maybe just give the player like a whole bunch of different grenade options, and then just sort of have it so that the player has to start swapping out through all these different grenades and like stacking up combos, and that's a pretty interesting mechanic if somebody wanted to explore it. So I'll definitely give the author credit for sort of exploring into that area, because I think there's actually a lot of potential behind that kind of a concept. Now, I don't know if that's kind of what the author was going for, that it needed to be utilized in the way I was utilizing it, or if the author was just saying like, hey, if you get bored of using your regular frag grenade, you switch over to a Tesla rocket. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it was if I was meant to be using it the way I was, kind of like one in succession after the other. But to me, that was actually pulling off those grenade combos for me was a lot of fun. That was actually probably my favorite part here. It was probably more fun than even just fighting the monsters. It's just trying to work in those grenade combos. I thought that was really, really interesting. So big props for that. Another thing I enjoyed was, well, I can't say that I enjoyed, but something that I think is good is that this map has multiplayer enabled. Kind of odd that it's only for 3 players. I would think that, you know, if you're going to go 3, you might as well go 4. But I don't know. I guess 3 is just enough, but 4 is too many. But multiplayer is always a great thing to have, especially in like an arena survival type of map. And of course, bosses. It's great. I love the fact that there were bosses, and I feel like the bosses were about right. They weren't too easy. They weren't too hard. They seemed to have an awful lot of health, even for bosses. But you know what? I'm glad that the author was displaying their health so that you could sort of track it as an objective. And it's also cool that, well, you know, I suppose that if you were playing with 2 or 3 players, the boss health wouldn't be as much of an issue, because with multiple players, you could probably just take out the bosses that much quicker, which is probably why the bosses have so much health. The author probably figured, like, well, most people might want to just be playing this multiplayer anyway, so I'll just have the bosses have a ton of health. Well, makes sense, I guess. And yeah, I thought that, you know, it's kind of interesting that the author tried to include some other option-y type of stuff, like, oh, you can get these burst rifles if you ever would want a burst rifle, or hey, here's this engineer helper guy that's just gonna kind of wander over and get stuck on some barrels. But I don't know what the purpose was, but hey, you know, interesting, I guess. And you know, here's a switch for easy mode, and yeah, there were some switches for, like, you know, do you like the map or not, and it looked like the author was really having fun with it, and that's pretty interesting, pretty cool. So now I'm going to go ahead and get into some of the stuff I didn't like. One thing I really didn't like is that there were some times where I was getting snagged up on some props, and that was kind of the first time I played this map, that was kind of my biggest gripe with this map, is that there were so many props just sort of scattered around the arena that it was easy for the player to sort of back into them or get pinned up against them. And that's something that I just personally really disdain in an arena survival type of map, is when the author either has modules that have lots of obstacles in them, and like you know, stairs and railings and things that just serve no purpose other than for the player to sort of get stuck and snagged on them. And when you're talking in an arena level, you want as much maneuverability as you possibly can, and that generally means you want to have the module be as open and clear as you could possibly make it. You don't want to be putting tons of props and vending machines and crates and barrels and floating candles that you can get stuck on, because that's just a recipe for disaster. And the first time I played this map, I was having that issue. And the reason I got so sour on my first playthrough is I was getting angry at the props that were in the center of the arena, like on the floor, you know, just kind of like kept like stumbling into them, and it just sort of gave me a sour taste towards all of the props. Which was up to including the design of the level. So, and I regret saying that, obviously, now, because while I still don't like the fact that there are so many props kind of cluttered up in the middle of the arena with, you know, whatever it is, whether it's like these crazy looking trees or vending machines or whatever, but I mean, I don't like that. I mean, I still do like the set dressing overall. I like the way it looks with the hell bricks and the UAC modules. I just don't like things that I get stuck on. And every time I get stuck on stuff in an arena survival situation, I really don't like it. Another thing I think could have been maybe better is, as cool as that grenade swapping function is, I think it should have been explained a little better. If the way I was using the grenades was how the author intended a player to use the grenades. Because to me, it just looked like, when I first started, it just looked like, okay, well, if you want to change your grenade loadout, this is how you do it. I didn't read into that as, okay, hot swapping grenades really quickly is actually a really good strategy that you should be using. I just saw that as, hey, if you get bored with the frag grenade, you can use a Tesla rocket. So I kind of just ignored it because I'm like, well, I don't even know my input numbers, so I'm just not going to bother. The frag grenade is the one I care about the most anyway. But once you get into the habit of using those grenades, hot swapping them, man, that is a deadly combination. But I feel like that's something the author could have tried to explain to the player a little bit better so that they know that that's a feature of the map. It's kind of one of the same issues a lot of people had playing Devil City Ransom with the die show punch kick shotgun hot swap combo. Is that I guess there's a way that if you have the shotgun and the super shotgun, you can fire them in succession a lot faster. Like if you hot swap between the two of them. But I've noticed a lot of players, including myself at times, I just don't get that flow down. And it's just, it's an interesting feature of the game, whether it's intentional or not, but I think the challenge is always communicating that to the player in a way that they kind of understand what to do and what's going on. And I feel like that could have been explained better in this map as well. Another thing I didn't quite get was the burst rifles in the very beginning. I don't understand why burst rifles. They're like the worst weapon in the game. Almost, right? Yeah, so some of those switches I didn't quite understand the purpose of them. Another thing is, and this is kind of a big missed opportunity, is that I feel like this level could have really benefited from having power-ups. Like, really could have benefited. Like, whether they were incorporated as secrets or as just something that happened to be there. Like, I definitely could have benefited from having like a haste or a berserk or quad damage or any of that stuff. And in an arena survival map, that is just, it is totally appropriate to have those kind of power-ups in that type of a map. And the fact that there weren't any there was kind of odd. And that brings me to secrets. There weren't any secrets in this map that I could see. It seemed like there could have been. I mean, there was a lot. It seemed like there was a lot of space where a secret could have been. I thought for sure that there was going to be a secret involving one of those cage areas or something. Like, it seemed like there was ample opportunity for a secret to be somewhere. So I'm kind of surprised that there weren't. But secrets always make a map better. So I wish there could have been some secrets to find in this one. Another issue I had was in that final module where you're fighting most of the bosses, the prison module, I believe it was. I had a big issue with that because there were like these, for some reason, I don't know why, but for some reason some of the demons wouldn't come out of the prison cells. Like, they would just stand in there. I don't know if they just couldn't see, if they didn't know that I was there or what, but I would have to go literally find them. And half the time, like, when I would see them, they just wouldn't see me or wouldn't sense me or couldn't see me. I don't know. But it seemed kind of weird. So maybe I would just suggest it's not the best idea. I mean, unless there's a way you can fix it so that those guys actually come running out of the cells like they should. I suggest just not even spawning them in the cells to begin with, because that really did sort of take away from some of the fun and the action and the momentum of the level when I had to stop being like, throw my arms up and be like, hey, where are all the enemies at? And then I have to go cell to cell to cell looking for an enemy that's just standing in a corner or doing something silly, that really sort of broke from that was actually pretty jarring, just sort of having to stop the action dead in its tracks to go search for a guy that should be coming to kill me anyway. Definitely had an issue with that. And lastly, I think the last thing I can mention was that in that first module where there are all those sort of yellow plasma environmental effects happening on the ground, there seem to also be a lot of invisible hazards that I can't quite identify. But I would remember I'd be like standing on the stairs, right? There would be like nothing near me, and then I would just start taking damage randomly. I don't know what was causing that, but it was strange. I don't know if there's some kind of weird invisible hazard in that room that I just kept walking into by accident, but it didn't make sense to me. There were like no enemies shooting at me or nothing. It was just I was just standing there, not next to anything that should be hurting me, and somehow I'm taking damage. So that kind of thing is odd, and I would like to not see it. So those are all the things I loved about the map, and as well as the things I didn't. Time for a little favorite, least favorite. My favorite thing about this level, I'd have to say the grenade swapping. Again, I don't know if it was intentional or if it was just sort of happy mistake that I've kind of started using it the way I did, but I thought that was a really neat feature, especially the way that, you know, you're hot swapping the grenades, and that actually became more engaging than just fighting. That's probably why I ended up getting distracted and getting killed, honestly, is I was more focused on getting the button combos right to get that grenade action going, because it is so much fun when you're in that arena fight and you've got guys all around you and you're just, you know, you're hitting those button combos to get the grenades swapped out, and then you're tossing out a frag and then a Tesla rocket and then a 3-round shot from your shotgun, and you're just working all these combos together, and you're just trying to memorize those combos as you're dodging around, and it is super fun, really great. And I really enjoy the potential behind it too, because, you know, who knows how far you could take that concept. You could definitely apply it to a lot of different types of ideas. So the grenade switching is probably my favorite thing for that reason. My least favorite thing has to just sort of be the props that were sort of in places that weren't ideal, that I kept getting snagged on. My philosophy with sort of these arena shooter levels is that the props should be seen but not ran into. You know, the props should be on the walls and on the ceiling, not necessarily on the floor where you can step into them, unless you're going to make them non-solid, which is a different thing. But like in that last module where you have the floating candles, and I kept getting hung up on those candles, and I was really getting hung up on those candles the first time I played, as well as the other props you got. That did become an issue, and that's just not it's just never a fun way to die when you think you're in a good spot, and the next thing you know you're stuck on something, and then you just get blindsided by an enemy. That's never a fun way to go. So I would say my advice on that would be to try to make as many of those props non-solid if you must have them. And I think in many cases you could just get rid of them entirely. Like, does there really need to be a vending machine in between a set of hell bricks and a UAC crate? I mean, they don't really seem to go together. But I feel like there was a little bit of an excessive use of props, especially in places they shouldn't have been, i.e. on the floor where I'm trying to run around and shoot demons. Okay, so that was El Diablo Arena by cCOFFEe. So, I hope you enjoyed the review. If you have a map you'd like to recommend for me to play, please leave it in the comments below with a map ID, and I'll be sure to get to it just as soon as I can. Thanks for watching, and until next time, peace out.